Okay, right?
That's what I thought it was. I'm like, hold up.
I like that. All right, boom, we're right into it. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Coach Wilson, and I'm here for episode 9 of W.I.N Daily. What I talk about on this podcast is the business of sport, physical fitness, and winning in all facets of life. This episode is going to be sponsored by My Team Meals, an affiliate of HyperSpeed and a partner with Able USA, and they're really just a great company in regards to distributing meals and servicing athletic teams. I like to say that My Team Meals is as American as apple pie. And I love their ability to rapidly distribute meals. They have a great team in the kitchen, and they're in 16 states right now, and they are taking off rapidly. And so we are happy to be aligned with them. And right now, they are my number one food provider in getting my life situated. Great system. That's what we're about here at Able, and that's what we find as a method to really winning in all facets of life. Before I talk about my team and how we kind of got to this point with Able USA and this W.I.N Daily podcast, what I want the focus of today's episode to be about is winning habits. Because we talk about winning daily, and for those who don't know, W.I.N stands for an acronym as what's important now. And so if I'm trying to decide what is important right now, that is going to be based on the habits that I'm incorporating in my everyday life to get a desired result. And so I evaluated when things start getting off script in my life and I start scrambling for time and I'm losing control. Why is this happening? Especially when I'm a very regimented person and I am obsessed with getting results. And when my life tends to spiral, it's off of two things. It's when I'm not exercising daily and when I'm not going to sleep at the exact same time. Same things. And I'm going to reference lyrics here. And for people who know me well, I always reference hip-hop lyrics. And it's, I'm trapped inside the ghetto and I'm not proud to admit it. Institutionalized, I keep running back for a visit. And from Kendrick Lamar. And that's almost like a mindset. And it's, I got to a point in my life personally, and I'll reference myself here because I'm someone that knows exactly what I want. And sometimes I can still get in my own way. And it's knowing this is what I have to do to get this result. And if I just wake up early, exercise, and I'm disciplined about my sleeping and my eating, everything's going to happen. But something comes up on the weekend, or there's an event, or maybe someone that I'd like to see. Now I'm off script. And if I go to sleep late and I wake up and I don't get my workout in the morning, well, now I have my first meeting at 9, 10 o'clock. And now I'm just not in my peak performance state. My words aren't flowing. I'm a little rushed. My hair doesn't have that extra little slicked over feel to it. And now I just don't have my same funk, my same juice. And so that trickle down effect, right? Well, now after that meeting, I might not be happy with, how I was received, or, we're not moving towards the goal. And then I'm a little upset at myself. And then there's a trickle down into, my emotion with someone later in the day. And then I'm up a little later in the night because I got up later. And then, more often than not, people are not very productive from 8 to 10, 11 o'clock. That's why it's good to, get up and at them early. And so all comes back down to not exercising in the morning. And it's crazy. And I think that comes from being an athlete when I was a kid and just, doing those workouts before you go to school, or stretching, being regimented, because if I don't do those things, I'm not going to be able to handle business. Now, when you're a kid and you play sports, that sport is your job. But now for me, if I don't take care of business, my company's not going to make any money, and we're going to be a mess. And so going into habits, and it's thinking about where I want to get to. And, even if that's in a year or 5 years, it starts with today. So what am I going to do today that's going to compound into me having an effective week? And if I have enough effective weeks, I'm going to have an effective month. And if I have enough effective months, I'm going to have an effective year. And so it's taking the macro of my goals and breaking them down into a very micro sense of what I have to do right here and right now. And so what does it start with? It starts with waking up at the same time. And for me, I like to wake up no later than 6 o'clock. If I wake up at 6, I go on a walk, come back in, and I meditate. And even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes, and if don't meditate on that day, praying. And it doesn't matter what your religious belief is, but just putting positive words out in the universe, almost what we like to call affirmations. From there, going onto my computer, doing a little bit of a blog, how I'm feeling, my reflections on yesterday, or what needs to get done in the day, just making sure that I'm in tune with myself and I'm on track. If I get those two things done before 7:30, I'm off to a hot start. Good luck trying to stop me. I'll pull up from anywhere. And that's the mindset. And I love sports references because it really sets the tone. And so no different than, after tip-off, one pass, you got your guy in the wing, you knock down a three. The other team's now in fear. In basketball is the best reference for that because you knock down shots and they fear as if they have to come up and defend you a little more. Well, now the court opens up, now you have space, and now everything opens up for other people based on your ability to handle business. So setting the tone with your company or in your work atmosphere or even within your family or your household, very important. And that positive energy is contagious. So that's winning from really 6 to 7:30 a.m. and that energy just keeps on rolling with me. Now it's in the middle of the day, and these are the problems that I find that most people have as they're chasing a particular goal or just trying to be effective in everyday life, and that's kind of losing control from about 9 to 1 or 2, and right around lunchtime is when you eat and you lose focus a little bit. You're socializing, and then what it is that you eat. And some of my coworkers, my partners, they laugh because they say that they never see me eat. They say they never see me eat, and they say you're never hungry. Like, how do you have infinite energy and not eat? And it's not that I don't eat, but I snack. And I snack on trail mix all day, and I probably drink more coffee than I should. But what that does is that it almost keeps me in a deficit, and it keeps me, when I eat, I directly use that energy. And so if everything in life is energy, just, talking, moving, I would like to rather be in a deficit. So now I have to use everything I got and then eat when I need to, as opposed to eating way too much and then getting lethargic, and then that clouds my ability to focus at my highest capacity. And so transitioning out of lunch into the second half of your day from about 2 to 5 or 6, and then you got to drive home, and then you transition home, and what's going to go on when you get home, all sorts of chaos within your personal life that you have to, get back on track with, wind down, and then prepare for the same thing tomorrow. And so as I address all these things, and everybody has a different life relative to what it is they're trying to achieve, or perhaps they get locked into, but how can I evaluate where I am within the scope of the day, understand the root as to why things might not go my way, and figure out how I can constantly solve that problem in order to control the variables in my life to get the result I want? And a lot of people think about their goals or their wildest aspirations, but I think that we look at them as too much of a dream and have a difficult time at actually seeing them happen in real life. And so one thing that I've learned, and it's come from, a good friend of mine and now a partner, Simon, the actual founder of Able. How you doing, Simon? And he said, what are your goals? What exactly are they? Like, you have to write them down. You have to be able to track them. And if you can't track them, how are you ever going to see if you're progressing? And so for someone like myself that has goals that might not be quantifiable per se in regards to a level of influence, and really seeing incremental change, but you gotta be specific. And I'm not gonna necessarily touch upon those, but since knowing exactly where I'm going, it provides direction every single day, and it starts with a habit and a mindset, and that's what this podcast is truly all about. And so when I think about winning, what's important now, and I talk about setting these habits, it really brings it down into the metaphor of sport once again as to where I am right now. And I call this rookie season. And I think that a lot of people can kind of relate to this, except I call this the rookie season, although I've been in the game for about 7 or 8 years, because now we're competing in the market. And I call the market this. For some people, it starts at 18 when they graduate high school. But if you go to college, you're not really competing. You still got, 4, maybe 5 years to kind of have fun, be a kid. But you graduate college at 22, 23. And I tell my interns this all the time. They listen to me. They're like, oh, here Coach goes again on another rant. They're all in here right now about, professional development and the life trajectory or the milestones that you're supposed to do. You graduate at 22, 23, and you get a job making kind of shit money, but you got some independence now. And then you get, whether it's roommates or your own place, and now you're taking care of yourself. Like, mommy and daddy, look, I made it. I'm in the real world. And then, after a year or two of doing that, you get promoted, got a little bit bigger of a place. Now you got a girlfriend. And then a little bit into that, next thing you know, you guys move in together, you get a dog. Now you're like 27, 28. And, okay, I got a mid-level management position. Mackenzie! How you doing, man? Mackenzie's a little bit of a wild man. He's going into our office next door, but nobody's in there. I'm interested to see what he does today. Anyway, nonetheless, yeah, so you're 28, 29 now, and okay, you move up a little bit. Now, this is kind of like that pivot point for most people, and I would say that this has been a pivot point for me because now in, the old world, I'd be jumping into kind of like that career position right now. My dad always reminds me, like, you got to pick a lane now. You got to pick a lane. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think you necessarily need to kind of have to pick a lane per se, but you got to know what you want or where you see yourself 10, 15 years down the road. And so the reason why I call this rookie season for me is because upon playing in the game and graduating college at 23, traveled, I've been to probably 36 states in the last 3 to 4 years, studied abroad, and had about 3 or 4 different jobs in different industries, had the apartment, had the serious girlfriend. I checked off all the boxes that they told me that I needed to check off. So kind of where to now? Well, I decided I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I want to start a company. I want to dive into the tech world. I understand that music is the medium, and I understand that the job market is in flux, and so there's a lot of young professionals that are looking for jobs, and I don't think these companies are putting them in position to utilize their skill set to really grow companies and really innovate and create the world change that we need to see. See all these demands. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to compete. And so I'm not going to sit here and talk about what it is that my companies do on a day-to-day basis. I'll show here subtly within the content. You'll see it in my podcast. But now we're competing. Now we're attacking. It's like, okay, I see the way the game looks. Give me my ticket. Swipe me. Sign me up. I am ready to compete in the market. And that's what rookie season is all about. And so not playing a sport anymore, not being a part of a team, I got to come up with ways to keep myself motivated. So every day, this is sport. And my interns, my partners, they are my players. My artists, they are the players. And I'm just a vision. I study the market. I study policy. I study global trends. And I try to find very, very talented people and invest in them. And if I invest in them, their success becomes my success. And their ability to influence other people leads to what I call the compound effect. No different as that compound effect impacts you in the financial world. And so that's really the premise of what W.I.N Daily is about, in teaching people that philosophy based on the methods that I follow in my day-to-day life and that I see other people incorporate in their respective journeys. And I hope to constantly display that. And as we transition out now, because we're no longer in the single digits, 1-0. The numbers are repeating. The power of number, very important. I am obsessed with numbers, and I find numbers to have a lot of symbolic meaning. And so now in episode 10, as we transition, which will be our 3rd episode of season 2, there'll always be a guest on here. We're going to be talking about a lot of unique and controversial things. Not only that, we will have more sponsorships, and you are going to see me live and uncut. And I think that in our current climate, social media gave everybody a voice, and that's great because now, someone from, the comfort and security of their home can make a comment that goes viral. However, in 2021, I don't think everybody needs a voice, and I don't think everybody deserves a voice. But I've gotten to a point now where people have asked me to post more podcasts. Let's see more W.I.N Daily. Let's see it actually daily, or what exactly do you do? And so I would say that I'm at a point now where people find me credible, or at least know that, I think before I speak, to the point where they can trust my words. And if you don't trust them, that's fine. Just listen to me a little more. And I think that truth is something that's undeniable, and it's something that you feel, and I hope to provide that as closely as possible. And if we can keep continuing to produce this podcast, I would like to say that I'm a voice that is credible to speak in this position. And so there are some things that I do not like, and I think that there are some problems that need to be fixed in this economy, in this job market. And rather than talking about it, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it here in this Naples Accelerator. I'm doing it here with my interns. I'm doing it with Able, and I'm doing it on a global scale with what we're looking to do with Able and where we're looking to take it. And so I hope that people can adopt these philosophies, apply them, and we can attack this thing together, because the power is within the people. That's all I got today. W.I.N Daily, episode 9 in the books. We're moving fast, real fast. HyperSpeed. Take care.